We're talking about Whoop, the heart rate monitor, monitors your sleep, and gives you some pretty cool data on whether how hard you could go today or how hard you should go today, how your recovery was. I like looking at the variance in heart rates. I like knowing what my resting heart rate is, knowing what my heart rate is when I'm drinking caffeine versus when I'm not, when I'm in the morning versus the afternoon, all that kind of stuff. And the data is nice on the app.
Yes.
So that's what we're talking about is we both happen to wear Whoops, which honestly, how long have you had it?
I've had it for a while. I would say almost close to over a year.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
okay. Well, so you're way more knowledgeable.
I'm an experienced whooper, I guess you could say. I'm an experienced whooper.
Yeah. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. I jumped on it too, like when I first heard about it. And funny story, my coach back in the day, he got us a huge discount. So it was stupid not to get it, you know? So I jumped on it and it's been amazing ever since.
So for grapplers, it's nice. So with like an iPhone watch or something that you obviously can do a lot of the same things, it seems to not, like a normal watch seems to not have the same type of analytics that the Whoop does. And like I was just bringing up, for grapplers, it's nice because you can extend it. They have a sleeve on the arm. They have the long bicep sleeve, or like me, like they're sold out right now. I just got this week. I can make the wrist bigger, put it up here, and then use an elbow sleeve, and you can use it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can use it while you're grappling. I grappled relatively hard yesterday, and got my heart rate and everything during it. So that's something that I like about the Whoop that I hadn't seen in previous. Also, like I didn't know that you were a Whoop member, but we could start a group and we could do different challenges within the information if we choose to share the information.
It's hard to find another Whoop user too. Like when I saw it, I was like, dude, are you wearing a Whoop?
Yeah, where awareness goes, energy flows. So since I ordered my Whoop, I've noticed. Yeah, exactly.
It is getting more mainstream too.
Shout out to Perry Worth of NutriGround North, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He has one, and he was the one who kind of turned me on to it.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
For grappling, it's been really good because you can't really wear a watch right here because you're trying to choke people or give somebody they're gonna grab it themselves or whatever.
Yeah, it's like almost uncomfortable at that time. But you said you could put it right here.
I put it right here yesterday.
Yeah.
Perry has an actual
like a
silicone
sleeve.
Yeah, where it fits in. They sell it on the Whoop website.
Yep.
But they're out of it right now, so I can't get it right
Sucks.
now. Yeah. So now I'm just trying to figure out the best ways that I can do that.
And it's awesome for endurance athletes too. Like I was telling you, if you are in the green for the Whoop, you're gonna kill it that day.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes the workouts that you want to do, like let's say a 10-mile run, and you're in the red, so you're like, all right, so probably I'll go a little easier, but tomorrow's gonna suck. Like tomorrow I'll take a rest day for sure. It's just kind of like playing it by ear. I like to use it. Yeah.
How accurate have you found it to be?
Oh, I've found it almost, very accurate because I use a chest strap too.
Oh, okay. Right.
So that's very accurate to me, in my opinion. Everything's 90% accurate. But with the chest strap and then this, they're almost identical. So for example, I'll go on a run, my chest strap heart rate would say 160. Okay. This would be 159.
Okay, so you're using both, what, just to test both, or to see if they're accurate?
I'm a data nerd, I'm a data nerd, so if I can use that chest strap, that I know is more accurate, and then this is just
it's right on par with it?
Yeah.
So what is the chest strap? What is it, why do you use both? Or
why train with heart rate. That to me, I found more efficient in my training. So I never want to go past an exertion where I'm busting my butt all the time. So when I run, I just go aerobic, and the chest strap heart rate will be all right, you're right there. Yeah, and it keeps me in check, so I run pretty good.
And so the chest strap you put on when you're going to do harder workouts. So you don't have one on right now?
No, that's just for my runs.
Okay, just for your workouts, just for your runs.
Yeah.
And the Whoop you're wearing, I assume you're wearing it all the time?
All the time.
So when you're asleep?
Yep.
Whenever?
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use it for meditation too, and this.
Ooh. I haven't done that yet.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So this experience was really cool. When we were doing meditation a while back, I found the most relaxed meditation when I was doing a guided meditation, and I had the Whoop on, and my heart rate dropped significantly. Like it was the lowest
Yeah.
I've ever had it, and I've been trying to get to that point still, but it's just been so hard. So I use it,
Wow. Yeah.
kind of to test.
Yeah. In my head, I was trying to test like, okay, what can I get my heart rate up when I'm doing a hard workout? But also, what can I get my heart rate down when I'm doing?
Yeah, that's a good exercise right there too.
Yeah.
Seeing how low you can get it during a meditation, seeing how relaxed you can get. Yeah.
It gives you something to shoot for, and like that,
Exactly.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know, I'm charged up, I'm ready to go, my recovery is
Yeah.
good. Like, let's go get a good workout. And I was thinking about that with grappling. I was tired yesterday, and I was like, man, I haven't had a really good workout since I've had it. Again, I've only had it for a few days. I haven't had like a really push yourself type workout. So I was like, okay, let's get that in. And then when I felt tired, I'm like, nope, I want to see what these numbers can be or whatever. And honestly, I wasn't horribly impressed. Like my sustained heart rate for grappling yesterday was like 155, 150, some spikes up to 160 or whatever. And then like in between for a little bit, they might go down just a little bit, which is relatively high. But the way that I felt, I felt like I was killing myself for a little bit.
Isn't that interesting?
Now, there's also different variables that go into that. With grappling, it's like, you know, I have my boy Nate from Co-Motion had a body triangle on me, right? So like, he's fucking squeezing the life out of me with his legs.
Yeah.
You know, like, is that a cardiovascular activity? Like, is that driving my heart rate? You know, when I'm stuck in there for a minute? Well, it's fucking hard while you're in it because you're getting,
right.
It's hard to breathe and like, you know, it's just muscle thing. But I don't know if that's a cardiovascular thing. If that's, you know, like when you're running, you can sustain that heart rate, but it's just constant, right? But in grappling, like, you know, if I get stuck in a position like that, fucking Nate. If I get stuck in a position like that, I don't know what that's doing for my heart rate, or you know, like
you
honestly,
think it
I
would
want to
spike
calm
it,
down.
right?
Yeah, you think it would spike it. In my head, I was like, okay, I want to calm down.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not moving in the same sense. Like,
but if you calm down during that position, aren't you just like more likely to go to sleep?
So he had body triangle, which means like he was like this, and my body was here. So like squeezing my diaphragm, like he uses legs to squeeze around. Yeah.
So you can't go to sleep there.
No.
You're just gonna.
No, but it's fucking uncomfortable. After this, we'll put you in a body triangle so you can see.
All right, we'll go run a 10-mile run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's totally different, but same concepts. I'm like, nope, 10-mile run. You're like, nope, body triangle.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. It's helped me a lot for sure.
Yes. Well, wonderful.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we'll have to join some sort of whoop group, and if there's any whoopers that are listening to this, shoot us a message, and you know, we can have some fun with it.
Do like challenges on 6 hours of hill sprints.
Yeah.
And see who can get the highest score.
I wish I would have had it for that.
You can still do it now.
I could.
Yeah.
That sucked. I don't know if you remember, but that sucked. I was sore for fucking days. I couldn't walk 2 days
Your
after.
recovery would have been like red for like 10 days.
It was fucking awful.
Yeah. Speaking of awful, you were just talking about how quantum physics is, you know, very amazing.
That's the worst transition ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really diving in just YouTube videos. I haven't been reading like in-depth books, but I'm a big fan of Sean Carroll and his podcast, and also just different videos that you can find on quantum physics. And we were chatting about like quantum physics just on the surface. If you're okay with, you know, a little like mystery, is not that hard to understand. Okay. So what I was going to get into before we started the video was with quantum physics, and again, I'm no fucking expert. As Joe Rogan would say, I'm just a dummy. I'm just a dummy that happens to have, that's beginning a journey of learning about quantum physics.
Same.
Why? I have no fucking idea. The way, so you have like Newtonian physics. You have like, okay, let's take an atom, an electron, and an atom we think of as a point, right? Like we draw it as a point. Well, in quantum physics, it's a wave. And that wave gives you the probability that that electron will be where it's supposed to be at any given time. Well, this is a portion of it. There's more, but the problem with that is that they're inside that wave. So if this wave has some super high spike, the probability of it being there is very, 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 very high, astronomically high. That it's going to be there. But it can be at other points in there. So that is confusing.
Yeah.
Right? And then what else is confusing to people on the kind of the outside is, okay, actually let me go back to that. So my understanding, and I hope somebody corrects this, I really, really hope somebody corrects this, is that so let's take the simple equation of 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yes.
Right? We all know that. Well, in quantum physics, 1 plus 1 equals 2 is damn near a certainty. But there's a possibility that that 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. That 1 plus 1 could equal 3, depending on where that electron is.
Yeah.
Because it could have an incredible astronomical probability, but still have a chance of it going the other direction. So, then you talk about again, I'm just a dummy. I'm sure I'm fucking this up. You talk about the famous quantum physics is the double slit experiment. The famous experiment is the double slit experiment, where they will act, or the electrons will act, or the photon will be shot. It'll act as a point. In one circumstance, when you're not observing it, when you're observing it, it has a wave pattern, and which then leads people down the road of why would observation change something?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it react due to the laws that govern it?
Right.
Why would observation change something? And that's where a lot of people come, that's where a lot of people get lost. And from what I understand, it's not that we're observing it. That goes into probably even deeper than I would want to go to. The reason I get interested in it is because there's so much that we don't know. There's so much that we don't know. That one of the leading theories in quantum physics to explain these variances, of the little variances that I've kind of just talked to, is a multi-dimensional. So basically, for every choice that happens, there's 2 parallel universes. So in one universe, like we had a choice, you sit there, I sit here. There's a universe that everything else is the same, but I happen to be sitting there, and you're sitting here. So that sounds like science fiction, but this is a leading explanation for how things work in the quantum field.
Yeah.
That craziness is an explanation. So it's like you have the smartest people in the world, these physicists that believe this. So what isn't possible?
Right.
Right? So if it's possible that there's possibly an infinite amount of parallel universes, or at least a number that would be like infinity. It might not be infinite, but
still,
that's a whole nother.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, it's crazy that anything is possible to me. So all of these things that we work on. So, I had suggested a guy named Joe Dispenza to you. When you talk about the power of your mind, I think we're held back by the narrative that we create. In my mind, if it's possible for this wave function, of quantum physics, to create parallel universes, and that's science, then why can't it be science that I can do anything that I put my mind to?
Yeah.
And so I'm not great at explaining it. I'm a dummy.
Yeah.
I'm a caveman when it comes to this. I'm a white belt. Whatever you want, whatever experience.
I think scientists that study that still don't even know how to explain it.
They don't, and they will bicker in between themselves, and you have the smartest people in the world, bickering. Well, it's not this. It's that. But any way you look at quantum physics, it's beyond our perceptions of life.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's no study or test that you can test quantum physics, like sight, hear, any of the
our perceptions are different.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world. Yeah, that's why I love it.
But it's our world. It's not a whole.
Isn't it
world.
so crazy though too? It's It's a world within a world.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then,
I don't know.
like-
See, I'm still a dummy.
Yeah, and then you could go into like what time is and
Mm.
why time has an arrow and Einstein's dilution of time and all these things. To me, it makes the idea of a God or God
Mhm.
a lot more plausible because that's as easy to believe
Mhm.
as it is, for me, parallel universes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why would one be, be more believable than another?
Right.
Because a physicist is telling me that?
Mm.
Maybe, but maybe he doesn't even have the tools to process the amount of
Yeah.
information. I always go back to jiu-jitsu references. It's like, well, maybe Newtonian physics was a white belt, and a blue belt is quantum physics, but there's still purple, brown, black,
Yeah.
and once you get to black belt,
There's still more.
you're not even close to the top of the food chain. So like, you talk about
Whoa.
the amount of information that could be there. They're making that, like, they're trying to piece things together or whatever, but it just seems to me that we just don't know. And I'm okay with that.
Wow.
It's fun to read and to
Yeah.
listen about these topics,
Mhm.
and just understand that, man, if these people don't know what's going on, I should be okay with the variances in
Yeah.
my life.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. And that's an interesting point too that you brought up, saying that quantum physics, that's still a blue belt. So
Right.
is there any do you think we'll get to that point in our lives where we'll be purple, black belt, or with technology compounding, it
Right.
could be where it's just like in 5 years we go from a purple to a black.
Maybe that's the case,
Mhm.
or maybe that there's different levels. I mean, if we go into dimensions, like
Mhm.
how many dimensions are in our universe? Like maybe we become a black belt in the 3-dimensional space that we live in.
Ooh.
But
then
yeah, let's move up a few dimensions.
Oh
Like,
my God.
how do we even perceive something that would happen in an 8-dimensional realm? What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. What is the 12th dimension? No?
Yeah, exactly. We have no fucking idea. And like, mathematically, all these dimensions are possible.
Mhm.
It's possible. So if it can be expressed in the mathematical language,
Mm.
then the reality of it is plausible. It's just, that's some fucking, it's just trippy shit.
Yeah.
So my actual application, I guess all of this, BS that we just kind of covered, or fun stuff, I don't want to call it BS because it's,
I think it's super interesting.
it is.
Yeah.
But my application for it is that anything's possible.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Anything is possible.
Whatever narrative that you want to believe, good.
Mhm. Yeah. If you can think it in your mind, it's possible in reality.
Yeah, where awareness goes, energy flows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. Look at that.